Good morning, Facebook family and friends. As you all are aware, this month, the month of April, is Autism Awareness Month. So I wanted to come on today after reading a phenomenal post by another autism mom, because I think there is a lot of misconceptions about what autism is really about and what it looks like and what it means in families. So Brooke, thank you so much for your honesty and your truth in your post. It really helped me to come online today to really talk about what autism means to me and my family. So the first thing that I want to say is, for a lot of families raising children with autism, it is a struggle every day trying to find supports and services for our children is difficult because insurance just doesn't cover it. As a parent, yesterday was my first major meltdown moment. And for those of you who are raising children with autism, meltdowns are just our day-to-day experiences. Because for my son, because I do have an income, I am unable to get him the behavioral services that he needs to be successful. Unfortunately, that was hard to hear, because having taken a third of a pay cut, salary cut last year after being told that we would not qualify for Medicaid, I still can't get help for my son. And so I think what people need to understand is that autism is a lifelong journey. When we go out, if we do have the ability to go out, we are always concerned about what other people will think about us and our children and how we are raising our kids. And so the first mistake and myth that I want to break from people is that all we need to do is just to discipline our kids right, and then they will get it together. Sorry, gentlemen, that's not our reality. Because individuals with autism really struggle to process their own emotions and feelings, it is very difficult for them to even make sense of what disciplining is all about. I can do time out, I can do punishments, but it only works for a short period of time. Because when my son is in a rage, he is having a major meltdown, there is no rationalizing with him. He doesn't see in color. He doesn't see in black and white. It is either black or white. There is no in between. So trying to rationalize, trying to quote unquote discipline a child with autism is just not our reality. Not to say that we don't try, because we do. We do what's in the best interest of our children, even if for some people, and I love the way how one of my participants said it last night, even if it means having to give in just to keep the peace. For people on the outside, they would think, we're just enabling our children for the choices that we're making. Honestly, we're not trying to enable them. We are just simply trying to keep the peace in our homes. And so if what we are, as you call it, giving into their behaviors, I would rather give into my child's behaviors than for him to have a full outblown rage and end up hurting himself or someone else in our home. The second thing that I do have to apologize to all of my parents in the role of a school psychologist is for the many times that I would wonder, why aren't you answering your telephones when the school is calling you when your child is having behavioral difficulties? I experienced that a lot last year. And what I will tell you is that it was hard. After a while, you get tired of people calling your cell phone and telling you your child is not doing right. When was the last time you called a parent to say, you know what, so-and-so is having a good day? I got so many calls last school year that I literally just looked at my cell phone and I ignored those phone calls because I was tired. I was tired of being told what my child with autism was not doing right. And it made my life hard. I cried even more. I felt guilty because here I am in the role of school psychologist, making these educational parents, providing them with all these recommendations and strategies, and I couldn't even support my own child. So even that was very difficult for me, because what I realized, theory means nothing. I am well educated. I have so many degrees I can't count, with the student loan debt to pay for it. But even with all the book knowledge and all the theories, it really does not define my child. Those calls and the suspensions, they did come with them. I felt bad. I felt like I had, failed my child as a mom. And I felt like I failed the special ed community as a school psychologist. Because as I said before, in the role of school psychologist, that's what I do every single day. I assess people's children. I talk to parents. I ask them their concerns. As a team, we make those diagnoses. But once those diagnoses are made and the IEPs are written, no one tells you realistically what it really means to parent a child with special needs, especially a child with autism. I will tell you, it's been hard. It's been really, really hard. I know there's some people who question the vaccine debate. Like I tell people, I'm on both sides of the debate. I know what it means to see children who have not followed the vaccine schedule here in the US and still have diagnoses of autism. And I've seen kids who have had, been injured from vaccines and have been diagnosed from autism. So because I see it from both sides, I don't know what causes it, but what I do know is it exists and it's on the rise now more than ever. My concerns about it increasing so much is that we don't have any resources for kids on the spectrum. What I found in one of my books, which I found to be very disheartening, is that out of all of the special needs supports and services that are out there through both private industries and the government, the one with autism is the area that's lacking the most. And it's so unfair because parents doing the best that they can do with what they have, and the doors continue to be slammed in our faces. And then you have people on the outside looking in, telling you what you should be doing. You're trying to do their strategies, they're not working, and you have no place to go to. You have no place to run to. So all you do is sit down and you cry, because I understand people are, just trying to be fair and trying to, provide us with their words of wisdom of what they believe it looks like to raise a child with autism. But what I will tell you, and it was so nice to hear other parents say the same things, is that what we're hearing you say is that we're not good parents. We're not raising our children correctly. And that, that if we don't get it fixed as quickly as possible, our children will become failures. And so, it hurts us tremendously because, like I tell people, my son sees black or white. There's no color. There is no gray. There's nothing in between. When he is in a fit of rage, there is no controlling his behaviors. And like I tell people, I can love on him. I can talk to him. I can do so many things with him, and it still won't help. And so that's why I wanted to talk to you guys really today, because like I said, it's been a hard journey. Not knowing, trying not to cry, not knowing what to do next, especially since we're getting to the puberty years. Hormones are kicking in and I just don't know what to do next. All of the degrees, all of the intervention strategies related to children with autism, they're not working. And so I'm gonna get it together, y'all. But as you think about autism awareness, really, this goes beyond awareness at this point. As families, we just want our kids to be accepted. There is no such thing as being normal. Autism, this journey is our normal. It's hard. It's hard doing this as a couple. It's hard doing this as a single parent. It's hard doing this as an educator. And so all I'm asking is that when I talk to you or I share my journey, that that you don't be judgmental, because all I want is my child to be accepted. Whereas many parents, their only worry is getting to their child to age 18. 18 is not my reality, because as a mom, I'm always worried, if I were to die today or when my child turns 20 or 25, who will be there to care for my son? Who will be there to love my son? I even have a will, and I'm so thankful for, the people who indicated, and I trust and I love those people dearly, that if I'm not there or not there, that they would care for my kids. And I know they'll do a phenomenal job. But the reality is, for many parents, their goal is to get their kids to age 18 and get them out the door. As I said before, that's not my reality. I've come to the realization, as hard as this is, that my oldest child with autism may be living with me forever, and, or if not in the same house as me, but as close to proximity as me, because he struggles. And like I tell people, on the outside, he looks like your typical tween. He doesn't look like he has autism. He looks like your normal everyday preteen without, he just looks normal. But when you talk to him, you realize, something is not right. Something is not connecting with him. He struggles to make friendships, because, that social reciprocity, that back and forth, it's hard for him. He's that kid who struggles with his own emotions and feelings, because that's really messy for him. Trying to organize that and make sense of it is hard for him. And because he can't focus and make sense of it, it makes it harder for me as his mom to figure out, honey, what's your trigger? What's upsetting you? For a lot of kids, they can easily brush it off and say, hey, whatever, I don't feel like it. I don't want to talk about it right now. And they may come back and talk to you. It's not the same with my son. Some days he may get on a fit of rampage where he is literally swearing. People be like, oh, you need to fix that. No, it comes with the autism. I've gotten to the point where, I've done the research. I know all the swearing and the mean words, they all come with the disability, and so when those things happen, I always wonder, oh my gosh, if I die today or if I die tomorrow, will anyone understand my child? Or will someone else, by the time I die, will somebody else be burying my child before he even has an opportunity to fulfill his life's purpose? A lot of parents don't have to worry about that. But for parents of children on the autism spectrum, that's our reality. We don't know what's going to happen to our child when we die, because guess what? Other people are not going to want to be bothered, because they're not going to want to be bothered with the stimming. They're not going to want to be bothered with the meltdowns and the outbursts. They're not going to want to be bothered with the therapy that comes with it, if you can ever get therapy. I'm blessed to have a phenomenal counselor that's working with my son, that's helping him to deal with his feelings and emotions. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Once he leaves therapy, our reality still exists. Those meltdowns, they don't go away. I've been blessed, as I talk to other parents of autistic children, that my son's meltdowns aren't as severe as some of the others that I've heard. So I'm very thankful for that. But there's still meltdowns. They still hurt, and it's not only me that is hurting. It hurts my other children, because they're trying to understand, why is our brother able to get away with such things and we can't? And trying to explain it to a 9-year-old or a 4-year-old is challenging. There is no explanation for, what's happening. It just happens, and trying to create a place of stability for yourself as a parent is hard. It really, really is, especially if you don't have other parents, you know, who understand what you're going through. And so I'm thankful for even wonderful authors like Brittany Lewis, you know, who is the parent of a child with autism. I am thankful, you know, for her gift of an author and creating books, you know, and storylines that, you know, that will support the needs of children, you know, who are on the spectrum. So thank you so much. Shout out to you, Brittany Lewis, for your books. Please look out for her. She's an author on the rise, you know, but once again, she's writing based on her pain. She's writing based on her lived experiences so that her son can be accepted by what we call the normalness of society. So in this month of autism awareness, I just wanted to come out and talk to you guys because, you know, although for those of you who know me, I seem to have it all together, you know, I'm able to balance all these different tasks. I would tell you I'm balancing it through tears. I am balancing it through heartaches. I'm balancing it through pain, but I'm balancing it with a purpose because anyone will tell you, my family will tell you, I'm a fighter. Like my uncle's friend used to call me, I'm a straight pit bull in a skirt. If I see it, I'm coming after it. And so for me and for my family, I'm not interested in awareness anymore. I think people have been aware for long enough. What I want from you guys is acceptance. When I talk, or any parent of a child on the spectrum talks to you, please listen. Don't come across with what you would do if this were your no, it doesn't work. It's one thing if it is your child versus if you have other kids and what you think you would want to do. It's a marked difference because I know what I would say as another parent of a child who doesn't have autism. You need to really get yourself together. You need to put your child in check. No, I'm not living in your household. No, I did not give birth to your child. No, when push comes to shove, and if you don't like what my child is doing, you can always walk out the door. I cannot do that with my child. I am in this for the long run. I am in this for other parents raising children with autism. We are going to bring acceptance, no more awareness, starting April of 2018, because that's what we want. That's what we need, and our families would appreciate if you would just give us a hug, give us a high five, you know, let us know that we're doing a good job, because like I said, this journey is hard. You know, and it will try your patience. It will test your stress levels, as I had indicated before. You know, I was literally, you know, in urgent care just last week because my blood pressure had spiked in dealing with my son because he was having a meltdown and I didn't know how to handle it. You know, I think Miles Rogers, thank you so much for supporting me last night on the YouTube channel. You know, I think you said it best. You know, for normal, typical developing children, it takes a village to raise those children. Multiply that by 10 when it comes to raising children with special needs, especially those with autism. So I thank you all for allowing me to vent. I thank you all for allowing me to share my story, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Thanks and have a good day. Bye-bye.